In this video, we will talk about the 30, 60, 90 triangles. Here's the theorem, which you're welcome to read. I'm going to explain it to you rather than reading it to you. If you look at a 30, 60, 90 triangle, you notice that you have an s, a 2s, and an s square roots of 3. What's helpful to understand about a 30, 60, 90 triangle is that you have a small side, which is opposite from the 30. You have a medium side, which is opposite from the 60. And you have a long side, which I think we all know is the hypotenuse, which is opposite from the 90. So in order to figure out what the different sides are, we have to use this rule of s, the small side, s times the square root of 3 for the medium side, and 2 times the short side, or the small side, for the hypotenuse. Now here's an example. So the first thing that we have to think about is, do we have the small side, the medium side, or the long side? And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to look opposite, and I'm going to see that this is the small side. So this is S. That's going to make Y the long side, and that's going to make X the medium side. S times the square root of 3. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have to do this in 2 pieces. To do the medium side, I'm going to have to take the short side and multiply it times the square root of 3. And to do the long side, I'm going to say 2 times the small side. The long side is probably the easiest one to do because 2 times 4 square roots of 3 is 8 square roots of 3 divided by 3. And that is the long side. That's easy. A little bit of extra math to do the medium, because when we say 4 square roots of 3 times the square root of 3, we're going to get 4 times the square root of 9. And we all know that the square root of 9 is 3. So then you can say 12 divided by 3. Or maybe you were comfortable crossing those off and saying 3 divided by 3 is 1. So the medium side is 4. And the PowerPoint's going to explain that just a little bit down here at the bottom, that this angle was in fact 60, because 90 plus 30 plus 60 adds up to 1/8. Then it's going to do the calculations for you, where it multiplies times the square root of 3, and where it multiplies, we're going to do the second side separately, length of the hypotenuse, where it multiplies by 2. So there's your answer. Here's another example. I'm going to go ahead and work this one through with you because it's different from the last one. If you look at the 4 square roots of 3, the thing that you have to decide is this the small side, the medium side, or the long side? Now they've given us the 30 here, so we know that this is the small. And they've given us the 90 here, so we know that this is the long. So if that's the 90 and that's the 30, that makes this the 60. And that makes this equal to s square roots of 3. based on the theorem a couple of slides ago. So what you can do is you can set 4 square roots of 3 equal to s square roots of 3. And then you can solve for s, because that's going to be your short side. Now, how would we solve for s? S has a coefficient. So here, we're dividing by the square root of 3. And s equals 4. So that is your short side. Now, is that the side they wanted? No. They wanted BC. They want our hypotenuse. But we know that BC is 2 times the short side. So we had to do this operation first in order to find out that the short side, or the small side, was 4. Now it's a very easy multiplication to say 2 times that small side of 4 equals 8. Okay, so unfortunately, some of these problems do tend to feel like two-step problems. All right, and we have an example here. We have some bookends to hold up some books on a bookshelf. And it says use special right triangles to find the height of the bookends. So if we look at these, usually bookends are the same. So we can operate on one triangle. So I would probably put an X here, and I would probably use this triangle to do this problem. Could have easily done the other one and brought the 5 over here. I think that's the assumption that you have to make, is that, they are identical. They're telling you that. So here you have a 60-degree angle. So this is the medium. You have a 90. That's your long side. So that makes this 5 your small side, and that makes this your 30-degree angle. So this is the best possible situation, because if you know the small side, then finding the other sides is just a process of multiplying. The question is, what are we multiplying by? We want the medium side, which is the short side times the square root of 3. So we know what s is. So we just have to multiply the square root of 3 times 5, and we're done the problem. Now, if they asked you to find the hypotenuse, that would also be an easy calculation, because you know that the hypotenuse is 2 times the short side, and the short side is 5. So that would be 2 times 5 is 10. So that would be the answer for that. They didn't ask for that in this problem, but I just thought it would be good to throw that in there. And I think this is where we're